welcome back to Heather's Greenhouse. So what all do I have in this basket here? Well, we're going to go through it because this is Thanksgiving week. And first of all, I just want to say I hope and pray that all of you out there are blessed and healthy and wealthy and have a rich life. And, I hope you're able to keep your spirits up as we're going into winter. I know a lot of people get the winter blues. I do when I can't garden as often because it's too cold. So what am I going to do to kind of help myself mentally still stay connected to gardening? Because it's almost like my therapy. Well, I bought a bunch of bulbs. These were all 50% off from Lowe's. So now's a great time to go to the big box stores, see what bulbs they have, and pick a couple of them up. So I picked up some hyacinth bulbs, got some crocus, some alliums, I've got paper whites, and I've got a mix of daffodils. Now I'm not going to plant all of these up today. I'm going to use them to kind of get myself from here until spring. So whenever I need a little boost, I'm going to come out here, grab a bulb or two, put it into a pot, grow it out, and then I still get to connect with the soil, connect with living things. And then, these are going to be beautiful. I can make flower arrangements for inside. I can give flowers to Miss Nancy next door. But yeah, these are going to help me get through the winter blues. I also do a lot of sprouting so that I can continue to eat healthy things that I grow that are organic. Now, one tip and trick that I want to give you is if you're planting bulbs, all of these bulbs do not mind the cold. Some of them might actually need some cold before they will actually flower. So know what type of bulb you have, because if you have amaryllis, for example, amaryllis love the heat. So if you're going to start an amaryllis bulb this late and you want it to bloom around Christmas, you need to put it on a heat pad. Just one of those seed starting heat pads. Nothing expensive. Sorry about that. I will ask the editor to put a link down below for some heating pads for seed starting that you can use for your amaryllis. Now, crocus are opposite. Crocus don't like the heat. If you have crocus that you flower in your house and you want to be able to plant them out in your garden in spring, which is what I do with these, by the way. All of these, once I grow them out, I treat them as house plants, and then in spring, I plant them out in the yard. So let's talk about, planting them up. So one of the things I like to do, and let me see if I even have one. Y'all, I know, I apologize. It is a mess in here. I don't even know what all I've got. Anyway, what I was going to say, if you have a shallow dish that does not have a hole in it, you can still grow your bulbs. Bulbs have everything they need to grow in their bulb. So everything, this is paper whites, everything that paper white needs to grow and flower is already stored in that bulb. So you can put them in a shallow dish, and you can, even if it doesn't have a drainage hole, it's fine. Number one, do not overwater. And number two, get you some activated charcoal to add to the soil. The activated charcoal will help to prevent it from going anaerobic and becoming stinky and, getting them little gnat flies and annoyance. So where can you get activated charcoal? Well, just about like everything else, you can find it on Amazon. But you can also find it at any store that sells fish aquariums. So if you're going to do bulbs in a pot that doesn't have a hole in the bottom, make sure you get some activated charcoal and add that to the soil. Now, I don't know exactly how much I add. I just kind of do a small handful per pot. It just depends on the size of the pot and how many bulbs I'm putting in it. If I've got a big pot and I'm putting half a dozen bulbs in it, I might use one big handful of activated charcoal. And you can always add activated charcoal later after you've already grown them out for a little bit. Anytime your pot starts getting a little stinky, a little funky, add some activated charcoal to it. That's going to be your tip. That's your trick. All right, that sounded horrible. Let's edit that out, editor. All right, so I am going to, what am I going to do? I think I'm done with that video because I talked about what I wanted to talk about. Let's plant some hyacinths. I don't know. So I decided, since I was already out here in the greenhouse, that I would go ahead and plant up some hyacinth bulbs. One thing to note, when you're putting them in a pot, you can overcrowd them. In the spring, when you move them out to your garden, you want to give them a little more space, but when they're in a pot, you can pack them in. So another way you can grow bulbs inside is in a bulb jar like this. And it just takes one single hyacinth in there. Now it's a little too full. You don't want the water up around the bulb because you don't want it to rot. You want the roots to grow down into this part where the water is. And then you can see I did buy 2 wax-coated amaryllis and a little Norfolk pine that I put a couple little balls on just to make it look like a decorative Christmas tree. My Christmas decorations on my table are really simple. I've got 2 of the pots that have the paper white bulbs in them, so they'll be really pretty. And then I've got this peace lily that has a white peace lily that has a white flower on it. I think the white and white will look well during the holidays. So until next time, let me know, how are you getting through the winter blues? Are you preparing? Are you buying discount bulbs that you can plant a little bit along the way all winter and then put out in your garden in spring like I do? Are you bringing in houseplants? Are you buying houseplants? Are you blessed to have a greenhouse that's heated? And are you growing things in there? Let me know what you're doing. Until next time, happy gardening.